right, let's go back to the beginning. How about your numbers? Are you ready to roll, please? Let's go back to the beginning of, not time, but feels that way. Okay, I understand that my substitute went rogue yesterday, so you didn't watch the video, which is somewhat good because, videos, it's kind of hard to learn from those. Actually, I'm the one who makes them now. I kind of find myself boring. I'm not laughing. Well, I mean, when you talk to yourself, you're like, did I over-talk to myself? Was this redundant? Did I already explain that well enough? It really helps when you have an audience to, like, hey, ask you questions. Otherwise, whew. Oh, perfect. Anyway, so that's good. At the same time, there were specific words and things I say, like this would be on the test, this, useful stuff like that. And, you didn't get that. So we're going to fix that today. We'll discuss more about him later, but let's get your math right first before we discuss the substitute. My notes from Monday were superb from you. I didn't get any detailed notes from yesterday, so I'm going to assume you were all summing in. So I'm going to give you a 6, every group of 6 for Monday, and every group of 5 for yesterday. My notes from Monday were, like, really good about y'all, but I'm not surprised because y'all are normally really good. I assume the substitute went over number 5 from Math Workshop yesterday, which is probably true, but did you learn the acronym to help you remember this? SOAP. He did tell you SOAP. Okay, 2, I heard you first, you can have a point. SOAP. Okay, so, and we went over this again. First period actually watched the video, but we still went over this again today. This is something important you want to learn. I would put a star by this problem and maybe make myself a note about how I'm pretty stinking positive that this would make the next Math Workshop test. A difference of cubes or a sum of cubes is going to make the next Math Workshop test. Okay, well, the acronym SOAP is supposed to help us remember it's the same sign, the opposite sign, and always positive. Perfect. And so if we see a problem like number 5, and we're going to do a couple similar to number 5. If we see a problem like number 5, we were really thinking like, hey, yes, I know x raised to the third power is 8. X raised to the third power is x to the third. Yes, I know 2 raised to the third power is 8. But in my head, I would have thought, like on number 5, when it was a squared, we just had 2 terms. So, like an x plus 2, an x minus 2. And so I thought for a cube, maybe it would just be the same thing. Like this. In my mind, I thought, okay, I'm going to leave 2 of them the same sign, 1 of them a negative, that way it'll end up being a negative 8 at the end, and that's going to be the correct answer. Because in your head, that would make sense. Sadly, that's not how difference of cubes works. If you actually FOIL this back out, you're not going to reach the right answer. It's very disappointing. So for difference of cubes, you actually have to memorize this SOAP acronym to help us figure out the answer. It does end up being a binomial. We are actually going to use the x and the 2, and we'll come to the sign part in a second. But we don't actually have 2 other binomials. We actually end up with a trinomial. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3 things over here. Okay, so same sign, opposite sign, always positive. Same sign. Well, my problem has a minus sign. So same sign would be another negative sign. Opposite side, opposite of negative is positive. So opposite side. And then always positive. So I've got to figure out the things that go in these 3 slots. But I do at least have all my signs correct. Are there any questions about the gray signs? Okay, well, again, our goal is to recognize, and that's why we took this perfect cube test. You were supposed to, when you saw 8, you were supposed to think, oh, 2 to the third. Just like if you see 64, you're supposed to think, hey, 4 to the third. That's why we took a whole test on it. So you're supposed to recognize cubes. If you notice a cube, like we noticed 2 to the third, yes, it is just x and just 2 for the first term. But then after that, it ends up being pretty easy as well. It ends up being this squared, so x squared, So we're dealing with just an x and a 2. So I put the x and the 2 here. X squared, 2 squared is 4. And then in the middle, 2 times x, so 2x. So let me explain the pink again. You and I recognize there was an x and a 2 involved in this. And so we put an x in between the first one. First one most people are good with. The trinomials, well, people get like y, but it's x squared, 2 squared, which is 4, and then 2 times x, which is 2x. Okay, so if we worked another one like this, let's say x cubed minus 27, we're supposed to recognize that as a difference of cubes. What cubed is 27? I heard it first in 5. What's your point? Okay, so I know same sign, opposite sign, always positive. Is everyone good with the signs on this problem? And now I've just got to figure out what numbers of variables to put in each slot. So we realized it's an x to the third power and a 3 to the third power. So I'm going to put an x and a 3. X squared, 3 squared, which is 9, and then x times 3, which is 3x. Are there any questions about the red? Okay, well then let's do one more. We're going to swap it up a bit this time, and I'm going to ask for your help. X to the third plus 64. How have I swapped it up? Changing the sign, no, we're taking a point, which means we are going to change down here. So same sign, opposite sign, always positive. Life's going to change. What sign should I use? Plus first, and what's the next sign? Minus, and then last?
Plus.
2 and 5 get a point. Same sign, so it was a plus, so I'm the plus. Opposite sign, so it's a minus. Always positive, so it's a plus. And everyone's good with the purple signs. So that is one way we swapped it up. So we changed the sign here, which ended up changing the signs down here. Okay, what cubed is 64? 4. So we're dealing with an x and a 4. So what am I going to put here? What am I going to put? X plus 4. Thank you, Ellie. You can have a point. And now the hard one. X. Just x? X squared in the middle. And the last. Okay. So 5 again. 2, we're going to give you a point because you helped a second ago. So yes, it's x and 4. X squared, 4 squared, which is 16, and then 4 times x, we get 4x. We'll do one more like this, and we'll ask table 5 to not answer the question, and we probably will ask Karen not to either. Let's see. I hope I'm right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the sign. Same sign, opposite sign, always positive. I'm just needing help with my numbers. What cubed is 729? 2 and 5, if y'all want to answer that, you can.
Okay,
It's 7. It's 7 to the third. So we're dealing with x and 7, so you get your point. But someone besides 2 or 5, can you help me fill in the bottom? X plus 7. X squared. 7x. Get 2 points. X and 7, x squared. 7 squared is 49. X times 7 is negative 7x. Perfect. Beautiful. Are there any questions about this? If you haven't been paying attention, bless your heart. I'm telling you it's going to make the next math workshop test, and I'm telling you difference of cubes and sum of cubes is something you're expected to know from this point on, sadly enough. It is useful, especially if someone asks you to do some long division or something like that, and if you already recognize it, and it makes life so much easier. Okay, let's go to your notes and discuss those. So if we go back, and I mean way back, I'm going to leave that there. It's because x times 7 is 7x. Yeah. Okay, so if we go way back, last week, way back, last Thursday and Friday, I worked long division problems. You helped me, but I worked them, and I was with you. And then you had 10 you started practicing last Friday that are around the room. You had the whole class period on Monday to get that done. But I still understand that I wasn't here to help you, and maybe the sub didn't give you the answer key or whatever. I understand. Life's hard when I'm not here. So even though it was supposed to be due yesterday, I'm going to have a little grace and give you all the way until Friday until I type in the 0. You haven't turned in your math libs around the room. I'm not necessarily sure it could, okay, that you're going to get time today during class. Probably if you wanted to. If I were you, like if Cooper's missing number 7, take a picture of the number 7 sign and do it at home. I'm going to post the key on Google Classroom. Remember, no work is no credit. You have to have practiced long division in order to get your credit. Are there any questions about the math libs? Okay, so that was long division. And then yesterday, did the stuff work? Number 5 at the bottom. It's no? Okay, well then let's fix that really fast. Number 5 at the bottom is supposed to be an easy one. It does not require long division. It does not require synthetic division. Again, as we've learned in this class, life is so much easier if you first think, is there a GCF? Yes. So much easier. So can we know the denominator is 3n squared p squared. Can we factor out a 3n squared p squared out of the numerator so we can end up just cross-canceling and making our life so much easier?
Yes.
Okay, if we factor out a 3n squared p squared, what would we be left with each of these 4 terms? 3 terms. Kyle, which point? 3 times 3 is 9. And then the third p to the third, so they get an extra n and p. Negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. She's right on that. 3 times 7 is 21. It has an extra p. She's completely right. Are there any questions about the black? Okay, well, life worked out perfect. They did cross cancel, so our answer is 3np minus 6 plus 7p. If you're like me, you can't stand that order. Like, that's the correct answer. I'm just mad at the minus 6 in the middle. So if you want to write that properly as 3np plus 7p minus 6, and move the 6 to the n, I definitely understand. Okay, so moral of the story is, before you go crazy and do long division or synthetic division, wow, wouldn't it be nice if you could find a GCF, cross-cancel, and save yourself a whole bunch of trouble? Wouldn't it be nice? Now, notice on all the ones where we've done the cross-canceling, on 1, 2, and now number 5, it's not been a 2-termer, it's been a monomial. There's no plus or minus sign in between that 3, that n, or that p. Whereas on number 6, we're dividing by a binomial because there's 2 terms and there's a sign in the middle. So we're probably not going to have a GCF if it's a binomial. Hence why when we've been dividing by binomials, we've been using long division. And then yesterday, we're supposed to be introduced to synthetic division. Okay, let's go on to what you were supposed to cover yesterday. I heard the sub could teach synthetic division. Now, I understand we have some debate on that point. Is there anyone who was completely lost on number 1? I need to go back through it. Yes, number 1. Okay, let's just go through this setup. So, synthetic division was supposed to make life easier. Long division is great. Very time consuming. Takes forever. Who has that long to spend on each problem? So the question is there a faster way? And there is. It's called synthetic division. So when we do synthetic division, I think through, so we're dividing by this. So if I were to set x minus 4 equal to 0, I would get x equals 4. That's the number I'm going to put in the little house. So on my next problem, what number would I put in the little house? 2. come to why number 3 is a pain in just a second. Because there's the number you put in the house is a fraction. And that's just terrible. Okay, so we put the little number in the house, and why synthetic division is so nice is because we don't actually have to pay attention to our variables. Instead, we just look at the coefficients in front of each variable. What do we do if a variable is missing? We're going to have to add a 0. Thankfully, on number 1, there is no zeros that are going to be needed, but on number 2, we're going to have to add in some zeros. So on number 1, it's a 2x to the third, a minus 13x squared, 26x minus 24. Everyone understand where we got those numbers from? We're literally just writing down the coefficients. Okay, here's why synthetic division is annoying. The very first step does not make logical sense to me. Like, I understand it works, but I just why? You just drop down the first one. Terribly annoying. From here on out, I'm cool with it. You do 2 times 4, you get 8. If we add straight down, negative 13 plus 8 is negative 5. Are there any questions about the black? Well, from here, negative 5 times 4, that's negative 20. 26 minus 20, what number should I put here? And then, last but not least, I'm going to do 6 times 4, and I get 24. And I'm excited. Why am I excited? 0. Every can have a point. I'm excited because I have no remainder. My remainder is 0. When I write my answer, clearly I'm not going to put 2, negative 5, 6. It's not my answer. I've got to add in exponents again with x's. It's always 1 less than what it was in the problem. That's made no sense. Let me say that again. It's always, so if we were x to the third, our answer is going to start with x squared. So this first one is 1 less, so it's 2x squared minus 5x plus 6. Again, how did I know where to start? I did 1 less than x to the third. I started off with x squared. 2x squared minus 5x plus 6. That is my final answer. Are there any questions about this? Okay, I'm going to do number 2 quickly. I understand he did all these yesterday. I'm just crossing my T's and dotting my I's, making sure we're all on the same page, because I heard some talk earlier from, I won't throw any people under buses, but table 2, so just making sure. You did too, thank you for being honest. Okay, so number 2, I'm doing a 1 for g to the 4th. I'm going to do a 0 for g to the 3rd, minus 3 for g squared, 0 for g minus 18. Are there any questions about the 1, 0, negative 3, 0, negative 18? If you do, if you're just being shy, let me re-explain. It's because I don't have any g to the thirds and I don't have any g's. I have to put in zeros for the placeholders, or else my answer is going to be jankety and not correct. Okay, so I dropped here my 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Negative 18 plus 4, negative 14. Why am I sad for that negative 14? We have a remainder. Makes me sad. Are there any questions about that? I did it fast. But that's the point. Synthetic division can go a lot faster. Okay, so my answer is starting with 1 less exponent, so I'm not starting with g to the 4th. Can someone tell me how to write my answer?
1 g to the 3rd.
Okay, 1 g to the 3rd. Keep going, either of you.
Oh, plus 2g squared. Plus 4g. Oh, well, yeah. Plus 2.
And then what do I do with the minus negative? And both of you can have a point. Okay. Now, the reason I love them is because they did that in unison, and also because they wrote the remainder correctly. It's very tempting, especially to those who have zoned out today. It's very tempting when you get to that remainder to want to do negative 14 divided by 2 and say it's negative 7. Make sure when you do over the denominator is the original thing you were dividing by, the g minus 2. Okay, I'm not going to do number 4. Did he do number 4 yesterday? Okay, well, I'm not going to do it because I think you've got it unless someone just really needs me to. Does someone really need me to? Okay. Why are number 3 and 5 harder?
Because they're fractions.
They are fractions. How did I know they were going to be fractions to begin with? Well, it is depending on my math teacher, but tell me about that leading coefficient from that second term. It's a 3, and what was it on 1 and 2? A 1. Look at the worksheet you picked up on your way in. What is the leading coefficient every single time on 1 through 10? 1. You're dividing by 1x minus 2, 1x minus 2, 1x minus 2, 1x minus 3, 1x plus 2. There's always a 1. In fact, if I tell you all my secrets, I only use, say that again, I only use synthetic division when there's a 1 in front. With, in the real world, when you get to pick how you solve problems, I only use synthetic division when there's a 1 in front. Now, since it is in your notes, I'm going to show you what you could do when there isn't a 1 in front. And notice all the ones you're going to practice today and throw away that terrible puzzle sheet from yesterday. Just send it to the trash. If you work some or want to try to work some, as long as you can, throw it away. Oh, terrible. Notice on all the ones that you're going to have to practice, there's always a 1 in front. Because I only make you do synthetic when there's a 1 in front. Because otherwise, it takes so long. Why not just use long division? I don't understand. Like, the whole point of synthetic was for it to be faster. When there's not a 1 in front, to me, it's not faster. So that defeats the purpose. Just throwing my 2 cents out there. Maybe other math teachers feel differently. That's how I feel. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 and 5. But again, there's not a 1 in front. So if I got to choose how to do this, I would use long division. Same for 5. If I got to choose how to do number 5, I would use long division. But let's say Tyler just can't. She's sick and hates long division. She just wants to know how to do all the things with synthetic. That's not going to work because on the test, some problems specifically say solve the long division, but whatever. She just can't. So she said, okay, I'm going to set this equal to 0. That's what we're dividing by. So I end up getting x equals what number? 2. Yes, and that is such a problem. Ellie, that was so fast. Have another point. So you're like, great. I get to put a negative 1/3 in the little house. Jesus, take the wheel. Is that how he did it? Yeah. Okay. The textbook goes a little different for me from here. So if you want to see an alternate method, see the textbook. I don't know how y'all are. My husband gets on to me because my favorite line is, my mama did it. My mama doesn't. My math teacher did it this way, so I do it this way. But if you want to know a different way, I'm sure there are others. My mama said I'm the worst at it. Okay, so I'm still going to do a 3 for x to the 4th, a negative 5 for x to the 3rd, a 1 for x squared, a 7 for x, and if you want to put in the 0, because there aren't any, I totally understand. I drop down my first guy, I get a 3. Now, thankfully, when we deal with fraction land, it ends up working out nicely. If you need to put these in your calculator, you can. I'm happy because 3 times negative 1/3 is just negative 1. I know that off the top of my head. You know y, alpha y equals gets you to the fraction button. You could type this in and get the answer as well. Fractions aren't your friends. Use your calculator. Fractions are my friends, so I'm okay. Negative 5 minus 1, I get negative 6. So when I do negative 6 times negative 1/3, well, 2 negatives make a positive. 6 over 3 reduces to 2. Yes. Okay, so 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 times negative 1/3, you get negative 1. 7 minus 1, you get 6. Again, I'm assuming you did all these yesterday, so I'm glad. If you need me to slow down, I sure can. 6 times negative 1/3, you get negative 2, so we have a remainder of minus 2. So I thought originally my answer was, because I was having a blonde day yesterday, maybe he was too. I thought originally my answer was 3x to the third minus 6x squared plus 3x plus 6 minus 2 divided by 3x plus 1. And I wrote this on my paper yesterday and I circled it. And I woke up with a nightmare that I had done some math wrong. And then it dawned on me I had. And it didn't dawn on, like, I knew the textbook had a different answer than me. Why I hadn't put 2 and 2 together, I don't know. If I cover up the remainder, what do you notice all of these have in common? What is their GCF?
3.
A 3. What number was in front of the x up here?
3.
Okay, if you factor out the 3, the actual answer is x to the third minus 2x squared plus x plus 2 with that remainder still. That is the correct answer. So my way to alleviate that is at the end I ask, is there a GCF? Yes, it's a 3. I pull out the 3, and that's the final answer. Why did I know it was going to be a 3? Because of this. So I'm assuming he did number 5 yesterday? No? This is all you can do? Okay. If you were to be brave and try number 5, I'll put it on the screen if you're interested. The final answer should be 2c squared minus 3c minus 2. Does anyone want me to work that one? Okay. I'll leave that there if you want it.
Miss Compton?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did Seth Gatlin make it in?
Yes,
After
ma'am.
you checked in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good, thank you.
Okay, so you can write that if you want it because you're like me and you like to have your notes completely done. I understand. You're cool with the gray. I brought down the 6. 6 times 4/3, I got 8. Negative 17 plus 8, negative 9. Negative 9 times 4/3 is negative 12. 6 minus 12, negative 6. Negative 6 times 4/3, I get negative 8. 8 minus 8 is 0, so at least it had no remainder. So originally I thought the answer was 6c squared minus 9c minus 6. Then it dawned on me, hey, they all have a GCF of 3. And 3 was also the number in front when we were dividing by anyway. We were dividing by 3c minus 4. So the real answer is 2c squared minus 3c minus 2. And while I'm leaving this and you're writing frantically, and I will gladly go over any like this with you, again I say, that's great. Why couldn't I just use long division? It was not faster to me because I had to think through fractions, and it was not. I would rather just do long division. So if there's not a 1 in front, the way there was a 3 in front in this problem, I would not have picked synthetic. I would have picked long division.
Yeah, when I did long division on number 3, it started getting like complicated. You know?
I don't know why.
Yeah, me neither.
You did x
These
to the
sound pretty
third.
good on like long division.
Do you have your work still? When I stop rambling, show you.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone good with this? Well, not good with this, but everyone's okay with the easy synthetics? Clearly you have some easy synthetics to practice. I am going to help you with one of them. Let's see. I should probably help you with, you'll be surprised, numbers. Say what you thought. Okay. There is one problem on this easy worksheet you want my help with. Any guesses as to what number? You might get a free point out of me. How did you know? Who said 7?
Jason?
If you said 7, give your group a point.
No, we didn't get 6.
Okay. Why do I need to work number 7? Yeah. Why do I need to work number 7? Okay, let's work it out. I put my 1 in my house. I put my 1 in my house. And then I put a 1 because it's x to the 5th. And then what happens? This is why I'm working number 7. Table 2, you get a point. Because I have to do, so that was x to the 5th. I have to have a 0 for x to the 4th. I have to have a 0 for x to the third. I have to have a 0 for x squared. I have to have a 0 for x. I have to have a ton of 0 placeholders. Can you zoom in? You can't see that. I have to have a ton of 0 placeholders. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I had to have 4 placeholders. And that's why I'm working number 7, because I'm betting you would have forgotten to do that. Not you, never. Now from here on out, life works out really nice. That's the hard part. Bring down the 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 0 plus 1, 1. 1 times 1, 1. 0 plus 1, 1. 1 times 1, 1. 0 plus 1, 1. 1 times 1, 1. 0 plus 1, 1. Yay. Thank God. You're like, well, that was dumb. Completely agree. It ends up being a really dumb problem. But man, if you hadn't put in those 0 placeholders. And then, for another easy point, can you tell me how to write the final answer? Ma'am?
X to the 4th plus x to the 3rd plus x squared plus x.
We're going to get Paige her point, but we're going to talk about why. So Paige is like me. Arturo said the red answer first period, and I looked at him like he was high. And then I counted. So I was like, Arturo! And then I counted, and I was like, you're a genius. We wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones, right? So we need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. That's why there's a plus 1. Duh. Okay, I swear to goodness the rest of them are easy. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Are there any questions about this? Synthetic's the best when there's a 1 in front. When there's not a 1 in front, I don't use it. Okay.